Hello, everyone. Welcome to Death by Podcast, the Galaxy World Universe's greatest horror podcast on Earth. I'm your host, Adam. That's your other host,
Kevin.
It's episode 70, Kevin. 70. It's big. That's big time. We're in the big leagues almost. Yeah? Big leagues? No? You don't like big leagues?
Yeah, 70. That's
all right,
quite a bit.
fine.
Yeah.
This episode, 1981's Funhouse, one word, directed by Tobe Hooper. Man, is it Toby or Tobe?
It's Toby. I've never heard anybody say Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper.
Tobe. Did you say hooker?
I almost did. It's a weird thing.
I always wondered Tobe because it's Tobe, so it could be Tobe. You know, long O. But before we get to that, I've got your favorite movie on in the background. What you call your Lethal Weapon? That's you like? It's like man's movie. It's a man's movie.
I love Lethal Weapon. I was just thinking about it today. It's funny. I played Jeopardy. My tearaway daily calendar is Jeopardy. So there's a new question every day.
Mm-hmm.
And
does it have like Alex Trebek's face on it?
No, it's just the questions. But anyway, so I tore it away. Just the other day, the question was like, this is what you call people like officials from other countries have that, like, can't be arrested because of this or whatever it was. And the answer is diplomatic immunity. But I thought it's funny. I can only say it. I can, like, in my head, I hear it as the bad guy in Lethal Weapon 2, because he says diplomatic immunity like 100 times.
Oh yeah.
And like it's the bad guy from Bill and Ted 2. The same actor. I forget his name.
Actually, I should probably be truthful. I already watched the first one. The second one is what's on now, so his face will pop up at some point.
Yeah, he's like an older guy. He's the bad guy in Bill and Ted 2.
I can't remember.
He's in a lot of stuff. It's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, but he's always like diplomatic immunity. Like that's like the thing he's saying.
Yeah.
To Riggs.
That's cool.
Riggs is like, you motherfucker. Like, he's so mad he can't like just kick this guy's ass.
It's number one, and I forgot that he was in this, but Tom Atkins is in the first one. Yeah, it's the first one. Yeah.
I think he's in the second one too.
No, because he gets killed in the first.
Oh, you're right. He does. Yeah, he does.
But he says, he has a line in there. Wasn't Mel Gibson in a movie called Air America with Robert Downey Jr.?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Air America, where they deliver drugs or something. I'm pretty sure
that might make sense. That would actually make sense. I just watched. I mean, I don't know if it was Air America, but I just watched a speech Robert Downey Jr. gave, where he got presented an award, and Mel Gibson was the one that like presented it to him.
Yeah,
and then he like gave a big thing about like why Mel Gibson's the shit.
Was this recent?
It was probably pretty recent, because I mean, it might be post Iron Man, you know, so which is what 12 years, but but he was still like, he's the man, because when you know, he helped me get sober, and
that's cool. And then it's like he absorbed his.
Well, he said he put me in a movie that was written for him when nobody else would do that.
Oh, you know? I wonder if it was. I don't know. Anyway, Tom Atkins has a line about Air America and Lethal Weapon. And I wonder if that had something, if that's stuck in Mel Gibson's head when he said that, and then he eventually made a movie called Air America. Because I'm pretty sure he directed Air America. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Anyway, you said you had some news. You said it was big news week, man. What do you got?
Yeah, there's a bunch of little news.
Little nuggets? Little news nuggets?
I'm wondering what to start with. What do you think? Should we start with trailers or like
or what?
Well, the other thing is just like things have been announced.
A bomb dropped. What do you got for trailers?
Trailers, the new Flash, a second Flash trailer came out.
Saw it. Did you see it? You don't watch it. Oh, you did. Don't say it. Don't say the line. You know what I'm talking about? Don't say the line.
Because I was like, I like that. That's
yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I watch trailers to movies I don't give a shit about, and The Flash falls under that
Really?
category.
After that first trailer, you didn't give a shit about it? I
I
mean,
mean,
we talked about it, how his
enough that
face.
I'll watch it, but
Yeah.
like I'll probably wait for it to come out on DVD or not on DVD, like it's 2005. I'll probably wait for it to stream, or I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go see it, but
I'm gonna go see it, man, just because I want to see. I can't wait for Michael Keaton, man. I just can't wait.
it looks. I just showed it to Lynn, and she's like, "It looks like everything with him is fucking awesome." I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah,
the
yeah.
movie.
He
I have
said
no
my favorite line
expectations.
though. You know,
Yeah, but don't. I've been trying to like. I've been trying to. There's people out there who don't watch the trailers, and
yeah.
that's a pretty big line. I wish they hadn't put that in the
But
trailer.
I said I thought the exact same thing.
You
I'm like,
know?
you should have saved that for the movie.
Yeah,
But
but whatever.
Warner Brothers doesn't do that. Warner
They're
Brothers,
idiots.
by the time this movie comes out, like I want to say, like with Batman Superman, I want to say like some like 80% of the movie was available on
Really.
you could have spliced 80% of the movie together based on all the footage they put
Yeah.
out already. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I remember they released like a 5 minute thing or
It's
something.
wild. Them, I don't know who's worse, them or Sony. Like Sony
Yeah, Sony's pretty
flat
good.
out. It's like, well, I've seen the movie now.
For what?
But when
Morbius?
someone, yeah,
You watch
Morbius.
Morbius?
No, I didn't watch Morbius. I'm never gonna
Watch
watch
Morbius,
Morbius.
man. It's good.
No, I'm not.
A good
No, I'm not
Dracula
watching
movie.
speak. You know what? That's actually on the next.
Yeah.
My one buddy who was like, he said the same shit. He's like, watch Morbius. It's good. He was just over here at my house, and he was like, see the new Transformers trailer? I'm
Oh,
like,
I meant to watch
no.
it. I didn't watch it. No.
I'm like, I didn't. And he's like, why not? What do you mean? I'm like, dude, I haven't sat through a Transformers movie since part two. I'm like,
Yeah.
I watched the one Mark Wahlberg just to like laugh at it, like, but like I didn't like, watch it.
Is
And
he
he's
a
like, this
fan?
he me okay, this sums up. Yeah, he's a fan of these movies, and he's like, put it on. It's Beast Wars, and I'm like, I, that means nothing to me. I don't care about Beast Wars. He's like, it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But he threw it on. He's like, this looks fucking great. What are you talking about? I'm like, he this is gonna sum up my relationship with this guy as far as movies go. We were arguing once about Transformers many years ago,
Yeah.
and he set it up. He was like, I was like, no, I don't want to watch it. It's just robots throwing each other into buildings. I don't like for 3 hours. I don't care. I don't want to watch it. And he's like, yeah, it's robots throwing each other into what the fuck what's the matter with you? Why don't you want to watch that? And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
point
You're like,
taken.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
We watched the trailer. He made me watch it, and I was like, he was fired the fuck up, and I'm
Really.
like, dude, it does nothing for me, man. Like,
I get like it's garbage. It looks everybody wants to be like, oh, it's not Michael Bay. It is Michael Bay. It's absolutely Michael Bay. It's 100%. There is no difference between that garbage and the first garbage.
although I will give him this, they did Optimus Prime looks better. He doesn't have lips.
Better, but that's still not fucking Optimus Prime, man. It's just not. I'm sorry if I sound
But
old, but
they did it in Bumblebee, right? For like 5 minutes.
it wasn't even that. It was like, yeah, make that movie on Cybertron where there's no fucking humans. That's Transformers. Transformers is not
Yep.
John Turturro with his underwear around his ankles. It's like, get out of here.
Yep.
Get out of here, you know?
That's right. Yep.
But I understand people like him and their excitement because Beast Wars, I didn't see Beast Wars. I was interested in other things, but people who are Beast Wars fans, man, are like insane Beast Wars.
I've known this guy for 25 years. I've never known him like, but he says he loved Beast Wars. And I was like, he's like, you were Beast Wars. You were like the same age as I, because he's a year younger than me. I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, Beast Wars. Put it this way, like I used to watch Power Rangers, but I knew I was too old for Power Rangers. I was embarrassed. Like me and one other kid we were like in secret, like in fifth grade, being like, all right, we like Power Rangers, but we don't tell anybody we watch Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we went and saw the movie and we were
Yeah.
pumped, but like it was this big secret.
Yeah.
Like so Beast Wars was way
Beast Wars can go eat a dick. I don't even care.
Yeah.
What else? Is that all the trailers?
No.
What
Okay.
else?
So, well, okay. So we talked about Flash. tomorrow, they're dropping a trailer. I don't know where you're at with this. They released a poster, which is not much of a poster. It's just the logo. Twisted Metal, which I
Twisted
think,
Metal?
yeah, Twisted Metal. I think it's gonna be a series. Um, did you ever? It's a video game. You ever play it?
Nah, never heard of it.
It's a PlayStation 1. It was like it was awesome. It was a really cool. It's basically like a demolition derby type game where you can pick it, I don't know. It's basically like Mortal Kombat if it were like a demolition derby.
Okay.
Um and well, yeah, they apparently it's going to be either a movie or a TV show. Trailer comes out tomorrow. I don't know how they're going to do it, but
That's great. What
yeah.
what series on what, you know? Like one of the
I
streaming.
think Peacock.
Really? That's weird.
It seems like Peacock doesn't seems that they will do anything. Like they like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. There's no
It's
like this doesn't.
NBC. I mean,
Yeah, but there's no like this doesn't fit with our brand. It's just like whatever. We'll fucking put anything on the
yeah.
channel. And
Uh
and then I got one more little piece of news, which is more of like I guess this is old, not old news, but I guess this is known for a few weeks, but I didn't know about it. Do you know they're remaking the Naked Gun?
are they? Who with who? Oh man, I don't even know. Who Jim Carrey. No, Jim Carrey's coming back.
No, no. Guess who?
Who is it? So wait, I'm gonna get it. What age are they about?
60s?
Really? White guy?
Yeah.
Um, is he a comedian?
No.
Okay. George Clooney.
No.
I give up.
Liam Neeson.
Well, you were wrong. He is a comedian.
He's got one good scene from Life is Short. Like that was
Full blown
extremely
AIDS.
funny. But other than that,
Unbelievable, man. I thought
I
he
mean,
was unhealthy or something was going on with him.
no, he said he put his foot in his mouth like a couple of years ago, but you
Yeah.
know, and he got in trouble. But
Well,
he's,
Disney brought him back for Quiggin Gin.
oh yeah, they did for that.
And he looked terrible, I thought, but I guess he's okay. That's weird. I mean, I see maybe they were going for resemblance with Leslie Nielsen because they kind of resemble.
Maybe they didn't know Leslie Nielsen was dead, and they said they're like Liam Neeson. That's the guy from the originals, right? Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Isn't that weird? Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
That's weird. That's weird.
but
Well, thanks for the update. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That
but
was
honestly,
fun.
I have a little hope for it.
That could be funny, man, because he has comedy chops.
Well, Leslie Nielsen when he did Police Squad was like an he was a serious actor, and it's just weird. Like
Is
that.
he?
I mean, Leslie Nielsen. I mean, he wasn't
No,
serious.
Liam Neeson. Is he a serious actor?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but like I don't
I
know.
don't know,
It could
man.
be. It. Here's the thing. It's Akiva. What the hell is that guy's? Akiva Schaffer. Is directing it.
Who's he?
He's one of the guys from Lonely Island.
Who's
He
he?
uh he directed MacGruber.
Oh yeah, that's your favorite movie.
MacGruber's fuck. I dare you to watch MacGruber and
They're
not.
SNL. They're SNL guys. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
with
it's he's
Andy Samberg.
yeah, he's the guy with the glasses
Right.
in Andy Samberg's rap group.
Hmm.
He directed uh Hot Rod, the Andy Samberg movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I don't watch.
Also very good.
Yeah,
But
very good. What's
so
the
it could be
standard
good.
on very good?
My thing is though, if you're gonna make a fucking like, first of all, like they don't make spoof movies like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a lost art form. Like Hot Shots, like and Naked Gun type movies are just not.
Well, that's an interesting point, man, because this is arguably it's like a relaunch of a series that was spoof. So you can't remake the first movie because you got to do new spoof. You got to do new jokes. So like you can't sit there and watch this movie, this new one, like you would a remake of Fright Night and be like, "Oh, I remember this scene from the original." You know, like that's not going
Yeah.
to work with a spoof movie. So if they start spoofing again, cool. You know, that's something
I hope they. I mean, honestly, man, I watched Hot Shots not too long ago, and I'm like, this is funny. Like, I
Yeah.
think this is,
No, that's good stuff.
you know,
Hot Shots is
it's
good.
too bad they don't make shit like that anymore. But they don't make comedies anymore. Like, when's the last
Yeah.
comedy that came out?
I don't know.
I mean, they don't. Isn't that wild?
It's all Seth Rogen. He makes everything now, so you just got to talk to him, get him to make you a comedy. Um, that's cool. I look forward to that because I think Liam Neeson is hilarious. So
I mean, whatever. I'll watch it.
yeah,
If it sucks, I'll leave. It's not.
yeah. Um, was that what else you got? News? Anything?
That's it, really. I finished Picard, but that's it.
So Picard ended.
Picard ended.
So how was the final? Wait, was that this week,
It was
or did we already talk about it?
no, last week there were only 9 episodes left. They had the finale.
How was it?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I went in real gun shy to the finale, being like, somebody's gonna cry or it's gonna be fucking
Cry?
lame.
You
Well,
can't
just
cry.
new Star Trek. That's all they do is cry.
Oh, really?
Everything is what. That's how
Dude,
everybody talks
dude,
all the
if that's
time.
how you cry, I don't ever want to see you
Dude,
cry. Your
everybody
face was like
everybody in new Star Trek is trying desperately not to burst out in tears every time they talk. It's fucking it's embarrassing.
Your cry
But
face is like when Homer Simpson's eyes roll in the back of his head
it's
because he's eaten too many.
and there's a little of that, but it's nothing. It's nothing compared to
God, it's good.
Homer's shit. 7 of 9. That's all. Every line she delivers is like that.
I still don't know what you're saying when you say that, but it was good. It held up. Like it was.
It was good. It was good.
You liked every episode, yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to rewatch it now without being like tense. Like they're
yeah.
You know what I mean?
mean.
Like,
Yeah,
oh, what the fuck? Come on, don't fuck this up.
yeah.
Like, I'd like to just watch it, knowing they're not gonna. I
Yeah.
mean, it was as good as the next gen movies,
Okay.
and it's better than 2 of them, at least 2 of them.
That's
You
how
know?
I am. I mean, that's funny because that's how I am with Star Wars now. The first time I see whatever it is, episode, movie, whatever, I'm like so tense. Like, what? And I can't enjoy it. I got to watch it. It's not until the second time
Yeah,
that I can like take it for what it is and leave your expectations out. But I'm glad you liked it, man. Somebody at the store was talking about you and your Star Trek. So it had to have either been Joe or somebody else that listens. And they were just like really happy that you that you're enjoying Picard.
dude, Star Trek hasn't been good.
I know.
The last thing they did that was any good was in 2009, and even that wasn't like, it was good, but it wasn't Star Trek. It was like a fucking like big dick action movie,
Yeah.
and it was
yeah.
like
A lot of dicks in that movie.
it was just like, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I like the J.J. Abrams movie, but it was a lot of like,
It was a summer action movie. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like,
It's like whatever with people with the same names.
yeah, basically, it was a Star Wars movie dressed up like a Star Trek movie.
Oof. Hot take. Speaking of, I got a what you watch for you. You ready? Do you have any what you watches?
Nothing of no. Oh yeah, I watched Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh, that's great.
That's a great movie.
Have you never seen it?
Yeah, I saw it before. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and then this
Okay.
time it was like, it was real good.
Dude, you can't go wrong.
I had kind of a fucked up thing. I had like a train of thought, by the way, today,
Yeah.
that I thought I had to like laugh to myself about this. So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, it was a very like progressive, like feminist thought that I had.
Yeah, which you don't
And
have often. So that's cool.
right. But I was like, what's kind of goofy is like, it must have been frustrating in 1979, I think. Like, if you were a single mother and like they put out this movie and it's about like how hard it is to be a single parent, but it's about the dad and the mom's the bad guy, when that's probably way less common. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably way more common that's the other way around. And I was like, yeah. But then I was thinking, I'm like, then my next thought was like, yeah, but if they did that, it would just be about a single mom, and who the fuck would want to watch that movie? Nobody. Who wants to watch a single mom raise their kid?
That's classic.
That's not a movie.
That's awesome.
And I had to like chuckle myself, like how I just came right back to like.
Oh my god. You can't go wrong really with 19 mid 1970s to mid 1980s Dustin Hoffman. Like
No, you can't, man. He's the man.
it's good stuff.
He's the
I mean,
best.
he floundered later on, but there's some really good stuff in there. So my What'd You Watch is also your What'd You Watch, and that would be Cocaine Bear. A big fuck you to that movie and everybody that made it because it's a piece of trash.
I told you.
I had no expectations, but but it was even worse. It was even worse than my non-expectations. What a piece! And Ray Liotta's last movie. Are you serious? I know that wasn't planned, but come on.
I
Man.
think he actually. I think there is something else that came out afterwards that he is in.
Is there? I hope, because I think that was. I don't know, man.
I thought he was really good in it, though.
I guess. I mean,
yeah, he was the only rational one in the movie.
Everyone in there's a non-character.
Everybody sucks except him, if you ask me. He was the only one that's like, "Hey, man, I owe money to drug dealers. They're going to come and kill all of you."
Yeah, he had a couple like reasonable lines, but what's her name? Who directed it? What's her name? The chick?
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks. I think she's very attractive. I think she's very smart. But stop. Just don't do this shit. She heard a story of Joe was like, yeah, this was like people were talking about this at a Hollywood party, and she's like, I'm gonna make that. But then because it's supposed to be like a true story, but there's nothing in this that reflects anything that like actually happened.
Yeah. And everybody's obnoxious. Everybody sucks.
Except I will say, and everybody I've talked to told that I watched this movie. I go, it's got 3 Star Wars people in it.
I guess
Ocean Jackson, the main guy, Ice Cube's
Ice Cube's kid,
who's a terrible actor. Go do something else.
I don't know if he's a terrible actor, because he's good in Straight Outta Compton.
That's what everybody says, but wasn't that like 10 years ago?
No, it was like 3 years ago.
And he was just playing his dad, who's basically playing himself. So it's like, yeah, okay. But his buddy, the white guy, that's Han Solo, right?
Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich, who is actually a really good actor. If you watch Hail Caesar, the Coen brothers.
I've been meaning to watch that for like 3 years.
It's good.
I haven't.
And he's the star basically, and he's really good. And I liked him in Han Solo too. But yeah, that's the first time I've seen him since all that though. So I don't know. Who else? There's a third Star Wars guy, and I forget who.
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell. What is she doing? I thought she had gotten I thought she was kind of like on the upswing. No? She had a series that was really popular.
She was in The American. She was in
Star Wars, and like
she's got something coming out actually. Some movie.
I just feel like everybody who's in this, it was like basically begging. I don't know, why would you choose to be in a movie like this? It's like,
well, like
Tubi.
On paper,
it's a Tubi movie.
Yeah, but like on paper, it could be like a lot of fun. It's just like, you know what, man? You make it. First of all, the CGI was shit.
It's a cartoon bear.
Yeah,
it's like,
you make it like kind of real and also the tone was all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it was like, is this a comedy? Is it a horror? What is this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was just, it sucked. It sucked. It was really disappointing.
I wasn't disappointed. I was just like, I'm disappointed that so many people liked it.
I don't know anybody liked it. Everybody,
maybe not liked
it.
I
know a lot of people saw it, but
yeah,
like
I guess
everybody's like, it sucks.
Of course it sucks. What'd you expect? That's what I expected.
I mean, I expected it to be like, yeah, like, I don't know. I expected.
I don't know. Like it's just, it is what it's exactly what it was intended to be. But I guess the frustrating part is that everybody involved intended it. I don't know. Like
it reminds me of what Ebert said one time about Death of Smoochie. You ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah,
I love that movie. Ebert hated it. Ebert
what did he say? What did he say?
He gave it like 1 star, and he said
he didn't understand it.
He named like the whole cast.
Yeah,
and he was and like even like Danny DeVito directed it.
Yeah,
and he was like, only people this talented could make a movie this fucking bad, like this bad.
Really?
Like, yeah.
That's so strange. That's interesting because we were talking earlier. We'll talk about it later. Like they had Funhouse on their show as a guilty. They did a guilty pleasure show, and Funhouse was one of Siskel's picks. And he Siskel was like, this movie is absolutely rated R, not for the kids. It's a slasher movie, which I usually don't like, but there's something about it that Tobe Hooper put into it that just resonated with me. Blah blah blah. And he's like, and the creature character in the movie, he's like, he was like, what a good representation of a tragic character. And then it cuts to Ebert, and Ebert he goes like, well, I can think of a lot. He says something like, I can think of a lot of tragic characters that I feel worse for. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, yeah, kind of, yeah. But also, Ebert would never dare put a movie like this in his guilty pleasures.
Well,
Just
like,
because he's so
yeah,
he thinks he's a little precious. I love him, but he's a little precious about
sure.
himself.
But like, I mean, I said like you shit all over the Evil Dead, but like
Yeah.
this is
Well, it was
you're,
Siskel. It was Siskel's
I
pick.
know. Well, Cisco shit all over Evil Dead
Yeah, yeah,
more than Ebert did.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'd be like, "What are you doing, Gene?"
yeah.
But I'm
Um,
shocked because, well, we'll get to it.
Shocked. Okay. So segue into the movie. um,
Yeah, yeah.
so Funhouse, 1981. Oh yeah, just one more thing. Fuck Cocaine Bear. It's worthless. Don't waste your time. Anyway, Funhouse. 1981, directed by Tobe Hooper or Tobe Hooper. We were discussing, we're not sure exactly the
No,
pronunciation.
we're sure it's Tobe Hooper. Nobody's named Tobe.
Do you remember a movie with starring Denzel Washington, and it had John Goodman, and it was about possession? It was like a
Yeah,
demon.
it's Fallen.
Is that Tobe Hooper as well? I
I
think it
don't
is.
think so.
No.
Maybe. I don't think so, but I will check to
Check
check
it
it
out
out.
while I'm giving the spiel.
I've seen that movie a few times. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pretty
I remember it being
crazy movie.
decent. Um,
No, it's not. It's not
it's
Tobe
not
Hooper.
okay. Written by Lawrence Block, who also wrote the 1990 Captain America movie with J.D. Salinger, starring J.D. Salinger's son,
Yeah.
Julian Salinger, or whatever Matt Salinger. Um, and then effects by the man Rick Baker. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Really? I guess if you had said, I mean, it's early, obviously, but I was getting a Pumpkinhead. I know you haven't seen Pumpkinhead. We got to watch that. But I was getting a Pumpkinhead vibe off of this, which was Baker's like one of his big ones. But obviously, American Werewolf in London is his biggest. But I started
You know
to
what? Now that you mentioned where, like, I could
Werewolf, right?
kind of see it. Yeah.
And I saw an Instagram post before we started recording where somebody posted, in Star Wars in the cantina, there's a werewolf who
Yeah.
just like the camera just looks at him.
I think they cut him out of out of like future cuts.
Maybe, but that was designed by Rick Baker.
It's the one. It's the only one in there. It looks like a Halloween mask.
It's a straight,
Like,
yeah, it is.
yeah. Everybody else, it looks like okay, cool. Like
That's
Hammerhead's there,
Baker's. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you have that werewolf, and it literally looks like a guy in a mask.
right. Baker designed that. So when they reveal the creature in this, I was like, and I found out it was Baker. I was like, that makes sense because he's obsessed with werewolves. So, and this creature's like, at first I thought the dad fucked a cat, but then you look at him and he's got like two faces that are mushed together. I don't know. We'll talk about the character
Yeah.
later, but so big picture. I had the chance to. This is my pick for F, and Kevin really wanted me to do The Fly, but I didn't because he didn't let me do Deadly Eyes when I had D. So did you enjoy this movie or did you hate it?
I'd hate it. I mean, it was perfectly fine. Like it was, I didn't hate it, but
I thought that while I was watching it, I was like, if Kevin has an open mind while watching this, he might actually like it because it had Motel Hell vibes, did it not?
Yeah, you know what it reminded me of is Chopping Mall.
Really?
It was
Okay.
yeah, it reminded me a lot of Chopping Mall, which we should do, by the way.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely.
um it was yeah, just you know, there's a lot in here where I was like, put it this way. So the opening credits take a real long time.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's one of the opening credits where it's like, okay, we're just gonna show you like clowns and
Clowns
we're
and
gonna
puppets.
yeah, and like we're not gonna tell you any story. We're just gonna do the opening credits, which is fine. But during the opening credits, I'm watching, I'm like, I bet they're padding this runtime. Like
Yeah.
that's what this is. Because I'm like, this is going on a long time. And the rest of the movie that was in my head, and by the end, I was like, oh yeah, because it's barely 90 minutes.
Right.
And the end credits take a long time. There's a lot of shit in this movie that is like stretched the fuck out. Like the whole subplot listen, I did like the movie. I enjoyed it. It was fine.
I mean, I didn't love it. You won't hurt my feelings, but I
No,
did
I mean I
I did
don't
appreciate a lot of it.
I'm not gonna shit. This is probably the most I'm gonna shit on it is
Yeah.
that like I mean maybe did I miss something? Because they set up the little brother like as a major part of the story in the beginning.
Like Michael Myers style, yeah.
Well, first of all, yeah, how about that whole sequence where it's like,
Except really perverted. Like,
well, yeah, but like, I mean,
right?
yeah, definitely, but I mean, that's rip off. It seems too generous. Like it was just like we're just gonna do the scene from Halloween.
Yeah, yeah, it
Like
was.
literally, that they just did it. It was like
Right.
that's wild to me. So much so that I looked. I'm like, this is so blatant. It must be like it must have come out the same time or something. And no, it came out like 8 years later. Like it's just
Well,
like
no, 78 wasn't
78.
78.
This is like 86,
This
right?
is 81.
Okay, but yeah, it had been
Yeah.
out,
So, yeah, 3, 4
Halloween.
years.
Tobe Hooper saw Halloween and like
Absolutely.
it was wild. He just basically did the opening scene to Halloween in the
Right.
opening of this, like even
Yeah,
in the same spot.
I know.
It
I
was
know.
wild. And then so there was that, and then so they set that up. They like established the little brother as like a major character, seemingly,
Yeah.
and then she then she goes to the carnival. He sneaks out of the house, follows her to the carnival, looks for her for a while, and then doesn't find her. Like, and then they close the carnival, and you're like, oh, okay. So the her his older sister and the her friends are like, we're gonna stay at they pull a chopping mall, like we're gonna stay in the fun house, we're gonna sleep here, and it'll be fun, and we're gonna screw around in the fun house. Um, so you and then then shit goes down in the fun house, and whatever. But then the carnival closes, and they're hiding in the funhouse. The little brother is also like staying after hours, even though he hasn't found his sister. Been looking for his sister the whole time, but like he hasn't found her. And then you think like, okay, he's gonna get into the funhouse and either save their ass, or he's gonna like get into trouble so that like they can't leave or so. But he just
Nothing
like goes
happens to him.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing
He just
happens.
goes
Like
home. Well, he gets, I mean, he does get like, I guess you get, I guess I was trying to think about that too. Like, what's his point?
what was the point?
His point, I
I
think, is
really
to
think it was to pad
show,
the runtime.
well, sure, that, but also there is a point, I think, to his side story, which is all these carny people and carnies in general have the, reputation of just being ex-cons
Yeah.
and the worst of the worst and gross and whatever. Um, Not that all ex-cons are gross. Some of them are great people, uh, but he, right when you think that he's going to get like the carnies grab him, one of them grabs him and you think, oh, that's it. They're going to do something with this
Yeah.
kid. And then it turns out they're just saving him because I think they know. Because, the monster grabs the kid
Yeah.
for a second and then he's saved. And so I think they know like basically how horrible what lurks inside the fun house. And it made me feel like the rest of the carnies stay away from that. And they saved him from him. But and then he goes home. But also, it also revealed like how shitty the parents are. You know, when they pick him up,
Yeah.
it's the carny that's like wiping his head and like tending to the kid, and the mom's just standing there like, "Fuck this kid!" Like,
Those are 80s parents, man.
yeah, I
Like,
guess I don't know. Ferris Bueller's parents were awesome. Um,
yeah, though I think these parents are a lot more
yeah,
what parents were like in the 80s. Like you
maybe.
snuck out of the house, you're an asshole.
All right.
Like, you know,
The mom was something. I thought there was going to be more with the mom getting
talking shit about her
twisted.
date,
Yeah.
you know.
The dad ended up being like a little bit caring with the kid, but ultimately it was the carnies. Um, I actually really liked, well, the opening scene, like with the brother, like it just, like when he opens the curtain to stab her with the knife, it doesn't just happen and then it's done. Like the kid, like lingers there with his naked sister. And I was just like, what is this grossness that's happening right now? But I really liked when the kid runs away, she jumps out of the shower and she goes and gets in his face and is like, when you least expect it, I'm gonna like fuck you like in the worst way possible with some revenge. I really liked that sincerity that she had with
Yeah,
him.
it was like a real like yeah, it
It
was
was a good little spiel that she gave him.
yeah, but like and then they even like repeat it later
Yeah,
and then nothing happened.
right.
Like it's not paid off at all. Like
Yeah, but he did get like pretty traumatized, as far as almost like an unintentional or indirect revenge. He went there to look for her and had the worst night of his life, arguably. Um, but yeah, a really weird thing with the kid. What do you think about the cast with not the cat? Not, I mean, the chick actually has been in stuff, but she was in Amadeus and a couple other things. But as far as the teens go,
they were serviceable teens, you know. I
yeah,
mean, the one guy seemed like he was I
Julian,
mean, yeah, the main
yeah,
guy, I forget his name. What was his fucking name?
it was Julian, not what?
No, it was shit.
And then the nerd,
Yeah, the nerd. Well, the nerd because he has glasses. Like that's the thing too. Like there's a makeout scene where, like, he's making out with his girlfriend, and then dude's making out with the main girl, and like he's not the nerd isn't wearing his glasses, and I'm like, are these the same guys? Like
right?
because they're both just jacked guys. They're both like big dudes. It's just one of them has glasses.
Right.
You know?
I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess the
But
dude that
that's a nerd in the 80s too, is like,
was just glasses, put
yeah.
glasses on. Yeah. He dies like a nerd too, though. Like unintentional death
He's
by his
got the
friend.
best death in the movie.
It was an
Maybe not. Hang on.
no. I think well, yeah, I think it was. No,
I don't know. I like how the old guy gets impaled on the sword. Thought that was good, and
I
you
guess when
know,
you're wrestling with someone though, and there's
yeah, a
I
lot
just
of
thought it was a combo death because like he gets the noose and it like
yeah,
drags him just straight up into the air, and
yeah.
they're like, and then he shows up again still alive, and then
Was he still
puts
alive? I thought about that
yeah, because
because
he's moving, wasn't he?
I don't know. I didn't see him moving, but like he's not. You would have thought like he would have been like gagged or something. You
Well, he
know?
was. They show him later on after he has the axe in the head, and it's actually when the fight with the old guy when he pulls the gun.
Yeah.
He like looks over at the friend and kind of laughs. You can see he's all like, there's chains and straps on him. And then so I think he was because he moved as he came around the corner in the car, and then he gets the axe to the head by
Yeah. His buddy puts an axe in his head.
which was awesome.
A lot of that's the thing. Like with a body count this small, like the villain just straight up like chokes a few people, which is fine. But
Talking about the
like,
creature.
yeah, the
Yeah.
creature. Which, by the way, like he wears this like Frankenstein mask for the first half of the movie, and the Frankenstein mask is creepy, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right, this works.
Yeah.
But then, like at one point, he rips off the Frankenstein mask to reveal like what he really looks like, and it's like it's just another Halloween mask, and it looks so silly.
It's
It's like
almost, oh, I just, isn't
it
it?
looks so silly when he pull his He ripped the mask off to have another mask on underneath. It was so goofy.
Yeah, that's the or the not prosthetic, but the mask. I really like the design. I couldn't. I was looking at images on online just to get like a clear view of it, and it's gross. Like I don't want to look at it too much. It reminded me though of one of Baker's masks from London in the dream
The
sequence,
yeah, the
the
Nazi.
Nazis.
Yeah, I thought the
Did
same
it? Didn't
thing.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I was the thing with this mask is, or with this, it's not a mask. It's his. He's a deformed kid, but like, what do you think is going on there? Like, how did? Because he's got feral animal teeth, and he's got
Oh, like what's up with his like
yeah, but he's
deformity?
got like two heads that were like you could tell were like kind of either trying to come apart when he was born or fused together. So maybe he was like maybe he's like two twins or something.
I have no
But
idea what like I thought like what movie did we watch where it was like this? Where I mean, it's kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but like what I mean, I feel like that we've seen a million movies like this where it's like, oh, this is my freak son, and then he's like, acts like this,
oh,
and he can't.
doesn't yeah. I mean, I know I mentioned it before. Does Motel Hell have that? No.
No, but
Yeah, there's something that we watched that had that. I can't remember what it was. Um, it's kind of a trope. It's kind of an 80s trope where it's like, stay hidden in the basement,
yeah,
Johnny.
Simpsons did it, you know.
They did
So
everything.
yeah,
There's a comic book out right now called Dark Ride. Have you heard of that?
no,
Image, Joshua Williamson. I can't remember the artist. Um, Williamson is like a really good horror writer, but he's also a superhero writer. But it's this. I swear Williamson watched this movie. And every review or like write up that I read about this movie, they all say Dark Ride in it. And they're like, reviews from like 5-10 years ago. And Dark Ride's a new comic. But
that's weird.
yeah, it's a really good comic if you're looking for like something to read. But um I just thought it was interesting because like, usually it's the other way around where comics made and then a movie's made, but it's literally this. Um and you're right about the time padding thing. There were so many moments through this movie where I was like, wait, why are they still in this place? Like,
Yeah, and there were a lot of scenes where it's like just like I don't know, like where she's like creeping around or someone's looking around, and it's like why are they still doing like I understand like you want to build a vibe or like if and establish like I'd say the jump scares were good.
yeah.
Jump scares were really good. Even like and there are scenes that are stretched out that are effective, like when the girlfriend or the one girl is in the fan duct and
Oh
he's
yeah.
like creeping up on her and like that was really effective and that took forever. But like there's other scenes where it's just like she's in that fucking boiler room type room with like all the fire extinguishers
Right.
and it just keeps going and going and going and going. And it's like and she's just walking around this fucking room. Like and it's just like oh, what are we
How
doing?
how can you think of this is 1981. When did like I guess it was earlier than that, but when did the final girl thing start becoming a thing? Was that Jamie Lee Curtis?
I mean, probably.
78.
Yeah, probably around then.
I think this is a really good or halfway decent final girl situation.
Yeah.
Um, I I really really liked the ending where like she finally kills the creature, which is a great death. I thought,
So there were a couple. They
but
did
I was
this.
going to ask you about the electricity thing
Oh,
because I know you love talking about
that
electricity.
happened twice in this movie where someone gets thrown into
Yeah,
a panel and then
yeah,
just gets electrocuted.
yeah.
I mean,
Are you just thinking like, no, nope?
no, I wasn't thinking that, but like, it's also I watched something else today that where that happened, and it's like, um, but
Like,
no, what I
why can't people research electricity?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not crazy if there's exposed wires, I guess. It wouldn't happen like that, but whatever.
For those who don't
Um,
know, that's what Kevin does for a living. He plays with
but
electricity.
but no, they had two like weird cutaway like things that happened, and it was one of them was when the creature died at the end, but like so they find that's the other thing. There's all this shit in the beginning where you think they're setting it up, and it just like they find the jar, the like creature in the jar in the
Right.
freak show.
That's the brother.
Yeah, he says later that's his brother. That's his,
Yeah.
which is like okay, but that's it.
Snoke. It's Snoke.
But yeah, Palpatine's fucking. I laughed so I wish you could have seen it in the theater when they were like panning across and like where he's like doing all that exposition like oh yeah I'm Darth Vader and Snoke and everything like I was all the voices in your head and then they pan across that like bathtub full of Snokes. I laughed my fucking ass. I lost it in the theater because it's just
Uh,
like why is he making like what is he why is he making all the Snokes for what purpose?
why is dude? I want a shirt. I want a shirt. Why is he making all the Snokes, man?
For what? Like why?
Why not just make himself? I don't know.
Or like, I mean, why not just I mean anything? Like it's not even a good like if you're like, I'm gonna make this human this like is it like a shit job at like like it's not even a good like humanoid. Is it supposed to be a real guy?
Nobody knows, man.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody cares. Like they don't care. Why do I care? Anyway, what was I talking about before I got to Snow?
The in the mutant
Oh yeah, so there's this weird
tent.
cut where he's like, I mean, the thing's in a jar or
Yeah.
in like a big giant tube, and he's playing around, and like they cut away, and the guy is like, the
Oh,
one guy goes to leave, and he turns around, and he goes, "Oh, it bit me," and
yeah,
it's like, and I rewound it because I'm like, did I miss something?
yeah,
But like, it can't. It would be like if you were tapping a fish tank, and then you
yeah,
said to someone, "It bit me," you'd be like, how?
yeah.
Like you didn't stick your hand in the tank. Like
Right.
what do you mean? But it did. Then
But
he
it
smears
no,
blood on
he
his
yeah, I
buddy.
know. He like what, and then he wipes the blood on the dude's face. Dude, somebody tried to do that to me when I was in junior high, and I was a nerd, scrawny kid, but I've never wanted to like hurt someone more. I was like, dude, you're gonna wipe blood on me? Like, fuck you. Um, I think he cut his finger on the glass. Something happened. Obviously, it didn't bite him, but it was also like almost like he did it intentionally. Like, I'm gonna cut myself intentionally
I
for a
I don't
joke, for the
know.
sake of a joke. It was weird.
But that's how the death scene was like he's getting electrocuted and then they cut away and then he's like caught on like the turbine thing, like
Right.
on the but I was like, oh, did I miss something? Did that thing like catch him? They don't show that actually like happening. It just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
then he's caught on it and then he gets caught in the gear. It was a good death scene.
I liked it because like once he gets electrocuted and then he somehow ends up on these hooks that are pulling him into the turbines, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but while
gears.
he's hanging there on them, he's kind of out, and you're waiting for the jump scare for him
Hmm.
to be like, "Oh, I'm still alive." But instead, it's this weird, gradual, like he kind of comes to,
Hmm.
just kind of like messes with her a little bit, and then gets pulled into the turbines. And we don't even really see him die for real. He just keeps screaming as he's
Yeah.
getting crushed in there. Uh, I liked it, but I liked even more when she comes after that. She comes stumbling out, and it's like she's in complete shock, and she's looking back at the funhouse, and all the carnies are kind of like tearing down so they can move on, and
Hmm.
you see all the bit carny players that we saw throughout the movie, like the crazy old witch lady and the
Hmm.
bloody man who was just walking around bloody,
Yeah.
and you realize like they, as much of a threat as they seemed throughout the movie, none of them were. And I love her looking back with the fat laughing chick on there. It was pretty
Yeah.
ominous. um
Yeah, it
but
was, I mean, it was a cool shot at the end. Um,
how in tune or how into Poltergeist are you? The first Poltergeist movie.
I like it a lot. I like it more every time I see it.
Right on.
Um, yeah.
I mean, I know there's that big, there's the the discussion about
Did
how
Spielberg
much,
directed it?
yeah, how much was Tobe Hooper and how much was, sorry, Tobe Hooper and how much was Spielberg. But watching this is the only Tobe Hooper movie that I've seen where I'm like, oh, there's a lot in here that resembles the aesthetic of Poltergeist. And in my brain, I kind of gave him more credit for Poltergeist than I normally do.
See, I was the opposite. I was like thinking like Poltergeist feels like a Steven Spielberg movie.
It does. I agree. I agree that it does.
You know,
But
like
Spielberg had nothing to do with this, and I still picked up on a lot of the like. I mean, the whole Tobe Hooper must love clowns, and he loves fans blowing women's hair when they're inside. When they're inside,
sure.
and it's like,
Yeah.
where's the breeze coming from, man? But I don't know. And then there were some shots that were really good. There was one in particular I took a note on. I can't remember where it was, but it was it was like a shot of like the main chick's face, but she was like way off to the left, and which made room for something to happen behind her in the back in the distance, but nothing did. And it was just like
Mhm.
how it was framed up. It had a super poltergeist vibe. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Spielberg was all over poltergeist, but when I think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously that and poltergeist are like not very similar.
Mhm.
But I also didn't get like a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe off of
Oh, I
this
did for
movie. Did
sure.
you?
Yeah, especially like just the way the creature acted. It was very leather faced,
Yeah, I see that.
you know,
I see.
and like
Tr-
he's yelling at it and everything, and it did kind of remind me of Texas Chainsaw.
I see those. I don't know what you call them. They're not tropes, but I see those similarities absolutely. But just Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a very specific kind of dirty. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
And even though this is dealing with carnies and carnivals, I didn't get that off of this. I don't know. It was weird. But I do see what you're saying with obviously with the creature and the
Yeah.
mask and
What
keeping
What'd you think of the fortune teller hooker lady? She was awesome.
she was hot, dude. Yeah.
She's my
No.
favorite part.
No, she was awesome. And when they knock her table over and she threatens them,
Yeah.
her threat, I forget exactly what she
She
said.
says, I'm gonna break you come she goes,
Oh,
get out of
yeah.
here. I'm gonna break every bone in your fucking body. But like
And when she says that,
she loses the accent, right?
she loses the accent, and which was creepy. I thought it made it more dire, creepier. But she finishes the line with "Now beat it," and
Yeah.
that ruined it for me because up until that, what she said was like, "Oh, this chick is serious."
Yeah. But then and I thought that was great. But then in the scene with the creature, she's got the accent back.
Yeah, I
You
think it's
know,
because when she was, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, I think it was because she was like so pissed at those kids that she was like, "I am gonna." That's why I love that line because she was like, "I will kill you."
yeah.
But then when she says now beat it, it's like she's giving him an out. So maybe she's not that
Yeah.
terrible. I don't know. Um the what else? I don't know. I appreciated the creature, especially after I learned it was Rick Baker. I know it's early Rick Baker, but well, it's not. Same, it was the same year as right? It was the same year as London. London was 81,
Yeah.
right? Wow, that's weird. So he was all up in werewolves at the time.
Hmm.
Um Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. And when I first put it on, I was like, have I seen this? But I hadn't. I had just seen pictures of the creature at some point. Um, I really like the scene where um, she's in, she sees her parents outside taking little brother home,
Hmm.
and she's yelling at them, but the fan's
Yeah.
blowing, and it's like
She can't hear him.
that was pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
Um, I don't know. Did
Although
you
it
know?
was a little confusing because then the next scene you've got the other girl in front of the fan. And I was like, is that the same fan? Or
No, they just had a couple fans.
yeah, I know, but it was just confusing. Like they just did that whole thing,
No, I
like a
know,
very fan focused scene,
right?
and then now here's another fan.
And why wouldn't you, when he's killing the other chick in front of the
Yeah.
fan, like she's got the knife and she like waits until he's like all up on her
Yeah.
like drizzling on her and stuff, and then stabs him in the back. It's like, nah, dude, he's coming at me like that, and I've got the knife. Soon as he's
Mhm.
close enough, it's going in his fucking eye, or like in his
Sure.
head somewhere. Um, that was interesting that she like let him get all up on her. I was like, yeah. Did you know what I mean when I was talking about there was a really cool scene with like, the witch lady who's like walking around going like,
Yeah.
you will die, whatever. There's that scene with the little boy, where he kind of like is backing up and the camera pans up and shows that she's behind him and she like rises from the ground. It was pretty creepy. And then
Yeah.
and then also the bloody man. Did you notice the bloody man?
I didn't. I don't. I'm not. No, I don't remember this.
Like when the carnival was going on and everybody's playing games and eating, popcorn and shit. Uh there's a dude, he's walking around with like a zombie, and he looks he's got blood all over him. And then later on, we see him again, and he's still walking like a zombie, and he's got blood all over him. And it's like, what is this guy's deal? I don't know. It's weird.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Aside from that, I mean, I think it's a good, I think it's a quality slasher, early 80s, like fun movie.
Yeah, but I think there's a reason it's not like
It could have been
as
tighter, definitely.
yeah. I don't think there's a reason why it's not more well known.
Right.
But it's just it's very paint by numbers. Like it wasn't
Sure.
it like I wasn't bored, but I wasn't blown away.
Right.
It
Um,
was solid B, solid B
the really,
minus.
you give it a B?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with
B
it.
minus, sure.
It's if you like this kind of shit, then
Right.
there's nothing here that's like, but there's also nothing that's like, to put it this way, like in the same way, like there's a million like schlocky action movies that come out, and
Right.
like John Wick is special because
Right.
you know what I mean, like the act, whatever it is like that much better. It's just like this is just another one of those like schlocky action. You know what I mean? Like
Right. It didn't have a, oh, but you got to watch it because of this. It didn't
no,
have
yeah,
that.
exactly. None of the deaths were like
Right.
that's what I was kind of expecting because the you and I like IMDb, everybody was like, yeah, this is pretty great.
I think that's what it was that I was trying to think of. I think it was Julian's death off screen, but then the clown comes in
Yeah.
with him holding him like that or whatever. I think that's the scene I was talking about, where framed up with the girl. But yeah, I just, it wasn't as bad as some of the stuff that we've picked in the past. I'm trying to think of one that I mean, aside from like
One Dark Night was pretty rough.
One Dark Night, it was just empty. But yeah, if this was a little tighter, I think it would be on more people's lists. But people do like this movie, especially Tobe Hooper has his fans, and this is one that they always say, why don't people talk about this as far as Tobe Hooper goes? But he didn't do a shitload of movies. He only did a handful. So
Yeah.
I think that's all I got.
Where would you say like if comparing him to like John Carpenter, like if Poltergeist is the thing,
Yeah.
where would you put that like Escape from LA?
You put this movie?
Yeah, like at least compared to a John Carpenter movie,
Yeah.
like
Uh I mean, yeah, I guess. I think Escape from LA is massively overrated.
see, it's funny because growing up, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, that one sucks," and I agree. And like, I remember seeing it being like, it can't be as bad as everyone's saying, and then it does. It sucks, and
Right.
now people are coming around to it, and I'm like, why? I think people are just coming around to Carpenter more and more and more. Like in a
True.
couple of years, people are saying that, oh, Ghosts of Mars, man, that's one that people sleep on. You know?
Yeah, I would actually. Well, Escape from LA though. Like, I also think probably even more so. I think Escape from New York is massively overrated.
Oh, see, I
I,
love Escape from New York.
I understand why people like it, and it's a cool movie, but it's also not. When you look at John Carpenter movies,
Hmm.
like to me, it's like way the fuck down there. Escape from LA, when it came out, you could just tell it was not of the caliber even of
Yeah,
Escape from New York, and was just a cash grab for the most part. But I mean, Carpenter. I think Carpenter, even though he also hasn't done that many movies, his library is obviously probably far superior than Tobe Hooper's. I think if we could all verify that Poltergeist was it was Tobe Hooper, I think that Poltergeist is one of my favorite just movies. It's probably my top 20 all times.
I've been wanting to read. I mean, I haven't watched it in
It's
a
a
couple of
great,
years. Oh, it's
great
great.
fucking movie.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, I like the whole franchise. I think it's great, but the first one is phenomenal. Um, but it probably was a lot of Spielberg, so that takes away from Hooper's library of stuff. And I know Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like, I mean, as much it's not.
It's an all-time great.
It's an all-time great. Absolutely, I acknowledge that. I don't watch it. I watch it maybe once a decade, just because I'm not into that kind of horror. But I can acknowledge what it is. So, but even if that's his best, you know,
Mm-hmm.
verifiably, since we can't with Poltergeist, I think that he doesn't really have much, you know. So,
Yeah.
what else? I mean, what else does he have?
I was just gonna pull him up because
he's
I feel
got-
like he's got a bunch.
I don't think he has a bunch. I think that like, you know, if you put in Poltergeist and you got Poltergeist, you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you got this, you got there was something else I think that we watched in a previous season that was pretty. It was Tobe Hooper and it was pretty awesome. Can't remember what it was though. What do you got?
I mean, let's see. Did Salem's Lot?
Oh, Salem's Lot is awesome.
Yeah,
Very
Poltergeist.
underrated.
Life Force.
Life Force it's good.
He did Invaders from Mars. That's the one we did.
Oh, that's right. That's the one I'm thinking about. Invaders from Mars.
We did
Classic.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then just a ton of TV. And then and even when he did do movies, it was like anthology movies, like he did Body Bags and
Right. You ever see that? Mark Hamill. I know Mark
yeah,
Hamill's in one.
yeah, years ago.
I
Yeah,
bet
a lot of TV.
I bet he did some either Tales from the Crypt or
He did one Tales from the Crypt.
and
He did one Freddy's Nightmares too. Did the Billy Idol Dancing with Myself music video too.
they always have like something like that. Yeah.
After Poltergeist, by the way. That was the next thing.
Oh yeah. Good. I don't know. Whatever. I'd recommend it. A lot of if it was a little tighter, it'd be better.
If it was on, I'd watch it,
Yeah, put it on in the background.
I don't know that I'd recommend it like over anything else, but I mean, I wouldn't turn it off.
You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, man. Are you prepared for what? You have G? You got G?
Yeah, I got you.
What you got G? What you got for next week? G.
I'm thinking Gremlins 2, man.
Oh man, are you like? I want to watch it. Yes, but that's something you watch that all the time.
I watched it last week. I'll watch it again. I'm gonna watch Gremlins 1 too. Like just so.
I watched that every Christmas.
Honestly, I was thinking other G's. I can't think of any that like.
I'm sure there's tons of stuff. The giant ant.
What's that Steven Spielberg movie? I was trying to think. It was the BFG.
Oh,
the big fucking guy.
yeah. Is that what that stands for? Big fucking guy or big fucking giant?
I don't know. It's something like that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but it is about like a big, right? The big fucking guy.
Is that what it is? That's hilarious.
I don't think so. I mean, it's a kids movie, but it would be pretty funny if that was what it was.
As far as like G movies I mean, that's fine. Gremlins 2. I haven't, like I said, we always talk about it. I still haven't seen it in
I mean, if you can come up with another G
20
movie,
years. No, that's fine.
But I was looking at the list and I'm like, we did Ghoulies, we did
yeah.
the Gremlins 2, man.
I mean, if you're looking at obviously pre-2005 for VHS, which is our rule, Ginger Snaps. What is that? When was that? You ever see that?
I've heard of it, but
It's a werewolf. It's a werewolf movie. the giant. I just looked up horror movies for letter G, and clicked on this like the first link, and the image that they chose to use for their list of G movies is the cover to Gremlins 2.
The new batch.
The new batch, Galaxy of Terror. I don't know what that is.
Kind of bummed. I wish I would have gotten. I want to get a Gremlins 2 poster, and I wish I would have gotten it signed by Zach Galligan at the
Ooh.
con.
Well, he shows up at that con every once in a while, so maybe
Yeah,
would do that.
it'd be cool to get that like signed by Joe Dante, and
Yeah,
you know,
we did The Gate. That was good.
we did do the gate.
And we like we did Ghoulies, but Ghoulies 2 and 3 are also really good. There's one that I've always wanted to see that I don't expect you to pick, but it's called Ganja and Hess, and it stars Dwayne Jones from Night of the Living Dead, the black guy, the main
Oh
character.
yeah, right.
I've always wanted to see it just because of him, but Ghost Ship 2002. Well, you said Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah, Ghosts of Mars.
When was that?
Probably 2005.
2001.
2001. Yeah, that's about right. Ghosts of Mars.
Ghoulies.
There's Ghost. Not really a horror
Ghost.
movie, but
Like Patrick Swayze?
yeah. I actually do want to revisit that movie because
I did.
but like you remember it's so weird. There's a lot of movies like that where when they came out, they were the biggest fucking thing in the world.
Right.
And then nobody like The Bodyguard. Remember how big The Bodyguard was?
Yeah.
And nobody knows about nobody talks about The Bodyguard.
Yeah, but well, it's probably because Whitney Houston is dead, right?
I don't know. I mean, people still talk about
I don't know. Yeah.
But like just how huge like Ghost was massive.
It was. People love Ghost. I rewatched it a couple of years ago and I was like, this movie sucks. And I love Patrick Swayze. So The Good Son, Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, that's a really good choice.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Are you serious? You've never seen it?
Yeah. 1993.
I've seen it 1,000 times. I used to watch it over and over again.
Is Elijah Wood in that too?
Yeah, it's Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin. It's heavy, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Gorgon.
It's one that like I would love to watch my wife, but she would never be able to watch it.
Really?
Yeah. There's no way. Like that movie's fucking intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably even crazier now that I'm like an adult.
Yeah.
Like we I know I said this before, but like that like Stand By Me fucks with me now.
Yeah.
Like where it's like
sure.
Like those kids like the scene with the gun. Oh, I'm always just like, I never even thought about it before. And now I watch them like that's a 12-year-old with a fucking gun.
Yeah,
like
right.
And like, dude, like The Good Son is nuts.
Yeah. Well, it's G. I mean, it's up to you.
That's
Graveyard Shift. You ever see that? That's good.
No, I've never seen it.
Dude, oh, too bad it's 2016, but or we could watch The Greasy Strangler.
I mean, I watched that like what,
Do you
once a week.
Have you watched
anyway.
it? Have you watched it since we talked about it?
I think I had seen it before we yeah, I've seen it like twice.
Okay.
But it's not, yeah, I mean, it's great.
No, it's 2016. Yeah, it is great. Green Room, that's also 2016.
Yeah, that would be a great one to do. I love that movie.
Yeah. I would say I'm fine with Gremlins 2. The only other one would be The Good Son. It's up to you. Your call. Because like I said, I haven't seen Gremlins 2 in
I know, which is kind of why I want to pick it because it's
20 years probably.
And I just watched Gremlins 2 like a week ago. You know what? Yeah, let's do Good Son because that movie's awesome.
All I can picture is that it's the scene in Home Alone 2 where he electrocutes Marv by hooking up in the basement. He hooks up like a battery to the faucet, and when Marv turns into the skeleton,
that's in the second one. Yeah,
in the second one. That's all I picture that movie Good Son being about, where it's just Kevin McAllister twisting dials and like electrocuting people.
Macaulay Culkin, man, back in the day, yeah, put it this way, he was like one of my first favorite actors, basically. Like, sure. This is the guy. This is a Home Alone kid. So I saw everything he was in. I saw The Nutcracker. I saw Richie Rich. I saw
Nutcracker? He was in a
He's in
Nutcracker movie?
his dad. That's actually kind of a goofy story. Yeah, his dad made him do it. But
Oh,
like,
wow.
no, I went to My Girl,
Yeah.
which is, you know,
Well, because we could relate to this kid. He was
but
our
this is
age.
all after Home Alone. I was just like,
Yeah.
that's my guy.
Yeah.
And then I saw The Good Son in fucking theaters,
Yeah, oh, really?
and it was, I mean, what year did it come out?
93. So he did Home Alone in 1990. He did Home Alone 2 in 1991. And then just a year and a half later, he's in this horror movie or whatever.
Dude, I saw this in theaters. I was 10.
Yeah.
And that's if it came out after September. I was 10 years old.
That's a crazy choice. Like, talk about shaking a typecast.
Dude, and he's so good in it too.
All right.
He's so, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps. We gotta watch Good Son.
We're doing Good Son? Okay, cool. All right. Good Son for next week, episode 71. You got anything else right now? Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Folks, you heard it here first. I don't know what you heard, but it's true. All of it. Thanks for listening. If you want to find us on social media, at Death by Podcast on Instagram, at Death by Podcast on Twitter. What else? You want to support the show directly? You want to support the show? Tell people about it. Pass us along. Say, there's these two goons. They talk about horror movies and other movies. They talk about Gremlins 2. They talk about watching Gremlins 2, but they never watch it. So yeah, pass the podcast along everywhere you pod. And then if you want to support the show directly, check us out on Patreon. We got a second mini podcast, BoobTube TV, where we talk about horror television. And we do all kinds of like werewolf tales from the crypt. This week we did the Groovy Ghoulies, talked about that. Kind of. We talked about it kind of. Talked about all kinds of stuff. It's patreon.com/deathbypodcast. Behind the scenes stuff and all kinds of cool things. Yeah. So until next week, look forward to The Good Son. We'll be talking about that. I'm your host, Adam. That's your other host,
Kevin.
It's Miller time. Kevin, take it away.
Shut the fuck up.
Perfect, man. Perfect. It worked. I'm glad you remember that because I forgot the new speaker setup, whatever. All right, folks. Thanks.
Shut the fuck up.
James Wood, thank you. Fan of the show. We will see you next week. Adios.
Shut the fuck